What's going on, y'all boys? So, y'all have been asking me, I want to say for the past 3 weeks since this came out, to like, what's my take on it, what's my review. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I didn't know what direction I wanted to take this in because every time I watch it, yes, I watched it more than once. I actually watched it more than twice. I watched it more than thrice, actually. I really do love that movie. But every time I watched it, it's like I learned something new, something that I missed the first time, second time, third time. Yeah. I feel like I'm always missing something. And then so I watched it for the fifth time. Now before I be like, dang, that's excessive. First of all, we listen and we don't judge. But on top of that, five is my lucky number. I'm a life path number five. And so to me it just makes sense. Like that, people be like three times the charm. To me, like that fifth time is definitely, that's the one. That's the one. But after watching it for a fifth time, I feel like I know why it took me so long to do this review, because there's just no way I can get all the stuff that I seen in that movie within the time frame of what I want to do for this video. Because I understand that people, they be making videos that be 10 hours long. I ain't one of them, boy. I ain't got that. I ain't got 10-hour long video in me. Not yet. Not yet. I ain't got that. And I don't want to miss out on giving y'all the information. So I feel like the best way for me to do this review from my perspective as a Gullah Geechee woman is to basically break this out into parts like a class. So welcome to class, y'all boy. I will be giving some spoilers, so if you ain't watching this by now, I don't know what you're doing, but go on your phone, go on your tablet, iPad, laptop, whatever you got, whatever electronic device, and go ahead and purchase you a ticket so you can go ahead and see that movie, because you're missing out. This is a phenomenal movie. Probably the best movie I have seen so far this year. So as you can see, like I've seen it 5 times, and I don't even like movies like that. At least I don't like going to the movie theater, but like I went there 5 times. So go ahead. What you doing? Matter of fact, we're gonna pause this video so you can go ahead and get your ticket.
5 minutes later.
So with that being said, y'all boy, welcome to Media Studies, and we're gonna dive into Sinners. And I'm gonna go over some of my favorite characters who I saw in the film. And my top two favorite characters was Delta Slim and Annie. For like, if you know me, you know, like for obvious reasons. But for this video, we finna dive into Annie's character. I absolutely love Annie. They did like such a great job, and shout out to Ryan for casting this beautiful black full woman as the love interest. Cause they straight be trying to play like black women, especially like dark skinned women. Like I ain't gotta go down the whole rabbit hole. Y'all boy already know. If you watch media, if you consume media, you already know like colorism exists in media. Like that ain't nothing that needs to be debated on. That's like a known unless you just sleep or ignoring the fact that exists, in media. But the fact that he cast her, I feel like was so beautiful. And for those of y'all that are trying to say, "Oh, I thought she was his mom or his auntie," like, did you? Did you really? Or is that the colorism and the featureism coming out of your mouth? But shout out to Ryan, cause like I said, you was in your bag. You was in your bag with that one. Like I really do love it, and I love that character. I was first introduced to her through Lovecraft. If you have not seen Lovecraft, I'm gonna need you to go ahead on the HBO. Or I think it's maybe on Tubi. See Lovecraft.
Didn't have to. I enjoyed my entire day using the only currency that I needed, whiteness.
That's how I was introduced to her. So when I saw she was in this one, I was like, okay. But anyway, I digress. We're going to be diving into her character. Again, Sinners review from the perspective of Gullah Geechee black woman from North Charleston, South Carolina. So before I dive into this review, a little disclaimer about me. So I am Gullah Geechee from North Charleston, South Carolina, as I probably be stating. However, I do not have a toxic relationship with Christianity. As I like to tell people, I read more than I run my mouth, more than I butt my gums. So I have a healthy relationship with Christianity. before we dive into this. Because if y'all seen the movie, then you already know what I'm about to be diving into when it comes to Annie's character in the movie Sinners. But I'm becoming at this from a healthy relationship, even though I do still identify as Christian, but I consider myself an open Christian. I know how open marriages work. Well, it's like both parties agree, like, hey, we together, but we open to explore other people. So I have an open relationship with Christianity. Christianity is my base. That's the only religion I know. That's what I was brought up in. But if I need to go to a mosque one day to get my spiritual fulfillment, I'm gonna go to the mosque. If the church calling me, I'm gonna go to the church. The Quran, the Bible. If I need to go to a Buddhist temple, I'm a go where the spirit leading me, if that makes sense. Because because like all these books and stuff that when we think about religion, was written by man, not God. That was written by man who claimed they got the message from God. But being that I have a open relationship and a healthier relationship with Christianity, I don't need a middle person to give me messages from God. I can go directly to the source, directly to the divine creator. I don't need no middle people. Like, no, me and God got a tight relationship. Why I need you in between me and God business. But anyway, with that being said, I just say that to because we finna dive deep into Miss Annie character. Oh wait, one more disclaimer, y'all. I am low key ADHD, actually high key ADHD. So the way this is going to be structured is we be breaking down not only the characters but like the personalities of each character. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch my other video that I have about the 5 Black mentalities that manifested after slavery, which that video was influenced by the Boondocks. So I basically broke down like the main characters from the Boondocks. Riley, Huey, Jasmine, Tom, Uncle Ruckus, Granddaddy. Yeah. So if you need an example of what I'm talking about, you can watch that one. But anyway, let's dive into Annie from Sinners. So Annie, shout out to Annie. Listen, this thinking back at the movie, this makes me smile. I really love that movie. But like Annie, so she's clearly like a hoodoo woman, right? Like Annie is a hoodoo woman. You can clearly see that as they not hiding it. They ain't like, ooh, I don't know. What is she? She's a hoodoo woman. And hoodoo is not voodoo. I'm gonna say that like I Umar Johnson, so I'm gonna say him about 3 times, actually 5, because my number is 5. Hoodoo ain't voodoo. Hoodoo ain't voodoo. Hoodoo ain't voodoo. Hoodoo ain't voodoo. And hoodoo ain't voodoo. Because anytime you say hoodoo, they be like, "Oh, I don't do that. That's that witchcraft, this and that, and all that hoopla." That's some spells that European Christianity got y'all under. Hoodoo is not voodoo, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But hoodoo is not voodoo. Voodoo is a religion within itself that deserves its own level of respect, but hoodoo is not that. Hoodoo is a blend of African traditional religion and Christianity. Again, hoodoo is a blend of African traditional religion and Christianity. For y'all boy watching, say it with me now. Hoodoo is a blend of African traditional religion and what? Christianity. Hoodoo is not witchcraft. Hoodoo is not demonic. There would be no Christianity, especially Black Christianity, without hoodoo. The Black church, Black Christianity would not exist if it was not for hoodoo, and vice versa. Hoodoo could not exist if it was not for Christianity and African traditional religion. Now, we go back up some, and it's all gonna make sense, but I gotta give y'all I gotta explain it before we fully dive into Annie's character, because some of y'all out there was already calling she's demonic doing and all this, not, which is crazy, because it's like you literally seeing vampires in this movie bite people neck off, and Annie is the main one protecting, and you talking about like y'all are under spells. People, please get a healthy relationship with Christianity. Like, y'all really think anything outside of the Christianity that was given to our ancestors to make them passive slaves is evil or demonic? That's the spell. That's honestly the real witchcraft, if you think about it. Which is why I have left, most of the Black churches that I grew up in, because they be having pictures of a buck with Jesus on the wall. Like, why would I be praying to a man with blue eyes and blonde hair with my skin? I have beautiful Black skin. And even in the Bible, say God is made in my image. So praying to an image that don't look like me, witchcraft. Praying in a language that ain't even of our own, that's spellcasting. But anyway, I digress. That's another video for another day. But anyway, I'm going to explain Hoodoo from a Gullah Geechee perspective. I know Hoodoo, as you saw in the movie, because they was based out in Mississippi. But as a Gullah Geechee woman from North Charleston, South Carolina, shout out to my Gullah Geechees. I can explain it from where I'm from. And for those that never heard of Gullah Geechee, they're like, what is that? Gullah Geechee? No, it's Gullah Geechee. Gullah Geechee, we are descendants of West and Central Africans who were human trafficked to America because our ancestors had that knowledge and skill of rice cultivation. So they were human trafficked because they had that skill really agriculture, but they really wanted that rice because that's what made, if cotton was king, rice was queen. And so they kidnapped them boy, brought them here, and we were isolated on these plantations. Like Charleston is a whole bunch of little different islands. If y'all ever come to Charleston, you will notice it's a lot of bridges that you have to drive over to get to the next place. Because Charleston, especially during the time when they was kicking out and slaughtering the Native Americans, you just had different barrier islands, which is why another term for like where we at in Charleston, the low country, is also called the Sea Islands, because there's a lot of different barrier islands down here. And so you got to imagine, think of slavery now. We're going to say like Nigeria, let's do Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Cameroon. They taking people that come from all these different countries that speak multiple languages, belong to different cultures, even though they all black, right? But we didn't identify that because race is a social construct that Europeans created. And again, that's another conversation for another day. Do another video for another day. But they took them boy. Let's say they put them on a rice plantation in Charleston, South Carolina. And mind you, they made sure to mix us up because if we spoke the same language, it'd be easy for us to fight back. Because like, who about to sit here in captivity? Like you out your mind, ain't it? So they put us all here on an island, so you're just on a barrier island, don't speak the same language, so y'all already beefing with each other, but y'all know we in this together. So it's like, listen, we gotta put all our differences aside and figure out a way, because and when I say isolated, we're isolated. Like it wasn't even like no Buckra folks, no white people on a plantation. Like you just had black people there, black people who belong to different cultures in Western Central Africa who are now isolated on these plantations. Even the overseer, which is how Gullah Geechee culture was really able to grow and develop, because even the overseer, they were either black or mixed race. Buckers was not on a plantation. They probably came every 3 or 6 months out the year, but they were not on a plantation at all. So with that being said, that is how Gullah Geechee culture was able to grow and develop, because they was like, listen, we're gonna have to put our differences aside and come up with a way to communicate and figure this out, because like whether we like each other or not, we in this together, we in this, okay? And so long story short, that's what happened. They put their differences aside and blended their cultures together to become one people. A proverb from my Gullah Geechee elders is all of we is one, which basically mean like we all want people. Like if you honestly think about it, the only difference is really the boat, where the boat stopped at, and then we had to create our own culture based on that. So Gullah Geechee people, we are descendants of Western Central Africans, not descendants of Native Americans, even though some of us will have Native American ancestry, but that's another conversation for another day, because we linked up with enjoying the Seminoles to fight them boy, to fight the British against slavery. But most of us will have like less than 10% Native American, but we are majority Western Central African. And we have a strong connection, because another thing that we asking, well, why y'all sound like y'all from an island? Like growing up, people used to ask me like what island I came from, and I'd be like, the island North Charleston, because like what you talk about? Like I ain't from North Charleston, and mind you, I barely left my city, so I'm just like, island? You must be talking about like James John Island? No, I from North Charleston. Like I ain't know what you talking about. But if you read, more than run your mouth and bump them gums, then you learn and discover that one of the first, I guess, Africans that were turned into an American, they came from Barbados, so which is a Caribbean, which is a place in the West Indies, So, but anyway, that's another video for another day. If y'all want to learn about the Caribbean and Gullah Geechee connection, this video is about Annie from Sinners. Y'all, like I said, y'all boy, I high key ADHD, so I can get off track. But we gonna bring it back center. With that being said, that was important for me to break down so y'all can understand, Gullah Geechee people and Gullah Geechee culture. But now we finna dive deeper into Annie and Hoodoo. So from a Hoodoo standpoint, as far as like Gullah Geechee, Hoodoo is a blend of traditional African religion or African traditional religions, ATR, and Christianity. Because most of us, when we came here, we were not Christian. We were not Christian. Most of us were actually Muslim when we got you. If you actually like study and look at like West and Central Africa prior to the European slave trade, most of us were Muslim. Because you had the Arab slave trade, and then outside of that, Islam was already spreading. So a lot of folks were already converted to Islam, whether by force or they willingly converted to Islam. But so with that being said, Hoodoo cannot and will not ever exist without Christianity. The black church is actually layered in Hoodoo. When, like in the movie Sinners, for example, in the very first scene, the people, the congregation, they singing "Let It Shine." Majority of them dressed in white. That's Hoodoo. Anytime you're doing spiritual work, a lot of times the elders will say, or the person leading that will say, make sure you are dressed in all whites as possible. Anytime you're doing any kind of spiritual work, just for purification purposes, you need to be dressed in all white. And so now Annie, let's dive into her. And since we on colors, if y'all notice, she was wearing like an indigo bluish type dress, right? And if y'all paid attention to Smoke, he also had like a haint bluish type hat and a tie. And haint blue, that's a really important color, especially in Gullah Geechee Hoodoo. I'm gonna just call it that because, like I said, I'm Gullah Geechee. I know people practice Hoodoo in different parts of America, and their beliefs may be different. I can only speak on what I know and what I experienced and what I've seen growing up. But haint blue is a really protective and spiritual color for us down here as Gullah Geechee people. So if you were driving around Charleston or any part of the Sea Islands where Gullah Geechee people are, and just in general where Gullah Geechee people have been, because people outside of our culture, they have adopted these beliefs as well. You would see a lot of homes painted in that haint blue color. Either the whole house will be painted haint blue, the window sill or the door will be covered in like a haint blue paint. You will even see the blue bottle trees, because we believe haints, which are just bad spirits, they can't cross water and they can't cross heaven. And that haint blue just reminds us of water and it reminds us of heaven. Now, just by oral tradition, like me, again, like I like to read more than I run my mouth, and I also like to sit and listen to my elders, or just people older than me. And what I have discovered, that some people may see that the color haint blue also represents Mami Wata. Now this is not no debate to be like, oh no, that's not true. I'm just sharing what I have heard from more than one elder, that the haint blue also represents Mami Water. And Mami Water, she's like a protective water spirit across the African diaspora. But I do know, I believe she's popular in Yoruba, but I know just across the African diaspora that it's also, most people in every culture got water spirits. Like, just, like I say, anything outside of God, Jesus, especially European looking Jesus, people like to get, oh, that's evil, blah, blah, blah. But it's like every single culture, if you look at every culture got a water spirit, especially like a black people. Because if you think about it, how did we get you? By water. People been getting thrown overboard. Some people willingly, they just jumped overboard because they like, listen, I'd rather die than be a slave to like dumb boy. And you don't think you don't think spirits is in that water? Okay. And also me just be as a Gullah Geechee person, with Hoodoo, we believe everything got a spirit, from the butterfly to the roach. Like, everything got a spirit. Every single thing got a spirit. So it's definitely spirits. It's spirits in the water, spirits in the land, spirits in the food, spirits in the food that you eat. Like everything is spiritual. Like that's the thing. People want to pick and choose what's spiritual and what's not, because when y'all be eating that pork, which is against the word of God, because they say don't eat that swine, all of a sudden, y'all be ignoring them scriptures. Like I say, y'all I ain't the one. I ain't the one, y'all. Like, I've been raised up in the church. I just got a healthy relationship with God now. But I ain't the one, because I know my Bible. I know it's my Bible. So yes. But anyway, but Annie, going back to Annie got that hair blue, and I feel like Ryan, salute you, sir, and to your whole creative team, who made sure, because I kept seeing that color all throughout that movie, like the color haint blue. So salute to y'all boy. So that was an Easter egg that I noticed in the film. And then also like Annie, like I said, there was no secret when they made it, when they wrote her character. They want you to know like she's a hoodoo healer. Like that's her thing. That's just like what she do, what she believed in. And like what she do. Like that's what she do and what she believed in. But it's clear that you can see that her estranged husband didn't believe in that. Like in one of the scenes he said, like I seen men dying in ways I didn't know was possible. And I ain't see no magic, no hoodoo, no none of that. All I saw, was money and power. So like what you talking about, woman? And she had to hit him back with the boy ye. Like boy ye for those y'all not from Charleston, we used to say that as like I guess that's equivalent to like boy bye. We used to be like boy ye. So like boy ye, how you gonna talk about you ain't see no magic? Yeah, you standing right shot in my face with a brain at work, 2 legs, 2 arms, your heart pumping pure blood with no complications, and you thinking my magic ain't working? You thinking of the magic that my people taught me that I kept on saying to protect you and your dumb behind brother ain't working? Like, is you crazy? Like, is you stupid? Is you stupid? Like, come on now. Annie's such a powerful woman and powerful character. But I also like how they show like the holistic part of her, because it's like hoodoo is like I said, hoodoo is a part of Christianity. As much as y'all can love it or not, that's what it is. I would just encourage y'all to actually read more, and to decolonize your religion, because hoodoo is definitely, especially black folks, because y'all be acting like the religion that the enslavers, the version that enslavers gave our people is the only way. But anyway, Annie, to me, Annie's character in that, her personality, she was really like, she was the backbone of the mission, even though she did not make it through. But I didn't see it as a loss, because in the end, what happened? Like, she went to be with the ancestors and to be with her baby, and she also got reunited with her estranged husband. But Annie's character in the film, just breaking down. I don't know if y'all caught that. Like, the term was by and Hi John, which we love us some John in black culture, because even like in Gullah Geechee, we be making hopping John. Like, it's something about that John. It is something about that John, because there's a lot of spiritual stuff where it be John. But they had some High John in it, which is also an aspect of like hoodoo culture. And when y'all boy be eating black eyed peas, the hopping John for New Year's, that is hoodoo. Just so y'all know. I know y'all be like, no, that's not. That just a soul food tradition. Rooted in what? Rooted in what is what I would say. Rooted in what? To me, was one of the most smartest woman characters in the film. Like she knew something was off, even though she thought they were hints. But once it clicked, and she know, okay, oh no, these ain't no hints. Y'all boys are some vampires. But speaking of hints, like hints are like unlike like spirits that are not well, that are not like rested. Like how they say with the vampires, it's like you're stuck here on Earth, and for some that may be good, but like you see what's going on in the world. Like ain't nobody who trying to be stuck here. Like my personal rule is I just want to live to see 100. Like I live to see 100, see my great grandchildren. Let them boy know what they need to do when I become an ancestor, and yeah. But I'm ready to go to the next level when it's my time. Once I hit 100, But I feel like a lot of people miss the fact that Annie, being that she was the hoodoo healer, the hoodoo woman, and she was also the cook. Like Smoke came to her and was like, hey, I want you to cook for us. Why he didn't go to nobody else? He went to her, because a lot of people, if you are like skilled in hoodoo, then you also know how to cook. Because the difference between medicine and poison is really just what the dose to be 100%. And then going back to our ancestors, right, during the time of slavery, which everybody had to have had a medicine woman, because the hospital wasn't a thing. And when they were making these hospitals via experimenting on black women bodies, if y'all read some of these slave narratives, especially there's a book out called Hoodoo Medicine, Herbal Gullah Remedies, written by Dr. Faith Mitchell, medical anthropologist. Shout out to her. Salute to you and all the work that you have done. But if y'all like, highly recommend y'all get that. It talks about a lot of just the herbs and plants that Gullah Geechee people use, but also even like Native Americans and European folks. But I brought that up to see every single person had to have a medicine woman because hospitals were not a thing, especially when America was developing. So you had to have known somebody. Cause if not, that's why the common cold was taking you out within 3 days of you catching it, especially during the 1800s. Them people is nasty. You got people on podcasts arguing about why they don't wash their legs. So could you imagine the level of filth in like they was doing in the 1800s? The people were filthy. Okay, filthy. And in certain slave narratives, you will discover that even they didn't trust their own people. Like they wanted the black woman. They like, no, bring that root lady, yeah. Like I need her. Cause my daughter, my son and they done caught the yellow fever and we need some of that root. We need some of that hoodoo to help heal them. Yes, those are in actual slave narratives. In actual enslaved narratives. Don't want to call my people no slaves. Enslaved narratives. I want to make sure I'm humanizing them, boy. And I do want to reiterate again, y'all, hoodoo is not witchcraft, is not evil. Because if hoodoo is witchcraft, then you making Hoppin' John on New Year's is witchcraft. Like, it's plants. What's evil about plants? If anything, y'all eating meat and y'all don't even know what kind of condition them people that the animal was in. Is witchcraft. Because you can actually look it up. They got documentaries now. They telling you them people is raping them animals. Them people is slaughtering and beating them animals up. And you eating all that pain and walking around wondering why you so depressed. You eating a pig who had a terrible life. Like, and that's what I seen. Like, well, we just believe everything has a spirit and you got to move with intention. Which is why, like, I don't eat meat like that. Like, I'm not vegan. I used to be, but I got way too skinny. Like I done lost my bunkie and everything. So I'm just like, nah. So like I am plant-based, which basically means I eat mostly plants, but I will consume meat here and there, mainly seafood. You know, I from Charleston, I buy the water, you know, mainly seafood, but I ain't had pork in almost like 20 years and I will never go back to eating pork. Like, because in every like religious text I feel like you can find, they're always saying like stay away from that swine. So I'm just like, yeah, I ain't putting no pig in my body. I don't believe that's an animal we are meant to consume as humans, at least from my personal beliefs. You know, y'all gonna go ahead eat the swine, do you? But that's just not something I want to put inside my temple. You know. But Annie was skilled in being a hoodoo healer, and really to be a hoodoo healer, if y'all really analyze her character, you know, outside of a spooky or unhealthy or toxic relationship with Christianity, because y'all just like, oh, she doing root. Again, we're talking about plants here, people. Plants that come out the ground. Plants that God put you in that first book with Genesis. What he put Adam in the garden, right? Okay, I'll check Nietzsche in it. Okay, so we're talking about plants here. So she just skilled at plants because if you look at what she was doing, you know, she's working with the herbs. She knowing what plant to use to protect her man from any evil that's out here. The one that he may not invite, and some that it sound like he invited in his space, because you know he in the military and he working with Al Capone. So it's really just about being like, if you study herbalism, which like that is a hill I will stand upon proudly. The foundation of herbalism, especially in America, is hoodoo, because hoodoo is all about like you gotta be skilled. And like I know now we're in this new age spirituality, so a lot of people be like, oh, I do hoodoo, I do this, I do wicked artists. If you don't know the herbs, especially the local herbs in your city, then you're not. Because that's like elementary level of hoodoo. You know, you gotta know the plants locally. And honestly, I feel like that's elementary survival skills for us. Because God forbid, but the way, you know, the country is going with the person who's running it right now, we gonna know how to identify all these herbs that's around us. We gonna know how to grow our own food. We gonna have to know these skills that our ancestors already like came up with. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back on Annie. Annie saved the day, even though she did not live She did not survive the end of the film, but to me, like, she really saved the day. Like, she had the pickle garlic ready on standby, had them on standby, ready to slash them boy with it, you know. She and she just knew immediately like what to do. She was like, okay, y'all, we ain't dealing with no hints. Like, these are some vampires, and then this is what we gonna do. We gonna need some garlic, you know. We gonna need some wedding sticks, and we gonna need that sign. So this is what we gonna do. But I feel like Annie, like, not only like a hoodoo healer, but also like a warrior in a sense is what I get, because it's like she was a fighter, but the way she fought was like different to me. She fought like on a spiritual level, like in a spiritual plane. Is how she fought, you know. And her man, you know, he fought in the physical, as you saw, like at the end, like he, you know, he brrrah, you know, on the clan, like he wasn't playing. He let the clip loose, like brrrah, like, hey, you know, ain't none of us finna make it out ya. But also in the scene, that's to say, like Annie was just a really smart woman. Because she also, which that's called divination, if y'all don't know what that is. And that scene where she's like shaking the, I feel like she had like a bone, she had some coins, some shells, and she was shaking it and reading it, and she already knew. She was like, listen, I know I ain't gonna make it, you know, but he all good, because I got somebody waiting on me on the other side, and letting her man know, look, yeah, boy. Why don't call him no boy? Be like, hey, look, yeah, if one of them things bite me, don't, you know, free me so I can go to my people. That being said, yeah, I'm gonna go over my 5 final analysis of Annie's character / personality. I wrote some notes on her. Yes, I am a Virgo, very Virgo coded of me. I feel like I get my points across better when I write them out, and I like to write out my thoughts usually before I say it. And I feel like most people need to adopt that practice, because a lot of y'all say what come out your mouth before thinking about it or writing it down. And if you actually write it down and look at what you're about to say, you will realize you're saying a bunch of nonsense. So yeah. But anyway, I digress. So here is my 5 final, I guess what to call it. So here are my 5 analysis gems, I guess we'll call it that I got from Annie's character in the movie Sinners. So the first one is, Annie is unapologetically hoodoo. Like, and what I mean by that is that she walks with her hoodoo head up high, like not hidden, which is common. At least I know in Louisiana, y'all be proud, which I don't know if y'all practice hoodoo or voodoo in Louisiana. I'm not sure. Because I've heard both from people that's from there. I don't know, never been to Louisiana. But I know down, yeah, in the South, you know people who do hoodoo, especially Black people. Like I said, if you're a Black Christian, you do hoodoo, whether you know it or not, or you want to acknowledge it. But a lot of it's hidden. Think back on my first introduction to actual like a hoodoo was when I was in foster care, and one of my foster moms, we was out. She had a farm. He was on James or John Island, I don't remember, but she had a farm. But she had horses, goats, and everything. She had a farm, and me and this other foster girl, she was teaching us to pick some berries, and she was turning it into a syrup. But I remember she was telling us, you know, like, but don't tell nobody like what we doing, you know. And basically saying that like she bought the elderberry. Basically, like, now I'm old, I realized she was teaching us how to make elderberry syrup. But like even at 12, I was like, what's crazy about picking berries? Like, but she was just so like gun ho on, don't let anybody know what we're doing. They gonna think it's witchcraft, blah, blah, blah. But it was just like, but it's so like, and I don't know who taught her, maybe her people. But the fact that she knew about these berries. The fact that she knew about this practice. She knew about these berries, and she never called it hoodoo, y'all. Never called it hoodoo. But she was out there showing us like, hey, these the berries, and I don't know if she grew them herself on her farm or if they were just already there. But the fact that she showed us this, he said it was like, you know, everybody don't need to know everything. And I'm just like, that's to say, like, y'all, Christianity got Black people under these spells, like, got you scared of plants that can heal your body.
You are under spells, people.
Like, ain't nothing wrong with it. And it's crazy because 10, 15 years later, you got elderberry gummies, elderberry syrup, elderberry soda all over the store. A lot of people who do practice it, like they practice it in secret, because they think people are going to think that, oh, you're a witch, which is like, and if we really honestly don't look at like historically what people historically they call women who knew how to read witches. Like, so it's like, let's use our thinking caps, people, when it comes to like, let's just use our thinking caps when it comes to stuff like that. Like, but I say that to say, so a lot of people who do practice it, like they are, especially older people. I feel like my generation, we don't care. We don't care because we've seen enough evil in the church, with people who are so gun-ho like Christian. We've seen enough people who are evil do demonic things, but go and turn around and be like, oh, you picking elderberries? That's demonic. You're making tea with life everlasting? That's witchcraft. Oh, but you in the church, and you kicked out that teen mom who got impregnated by that grown behind man that was grooming her. Is that not demonic in witchcraft? You're not showing love to the drummer boy because he came out and said that he may be gay. Is that not evil? Because is that, to me it is. To me, you gotta hold some kind of evil and hatred in your heart if you don't, you worried about like who loving on who, like make it make sense. To me this like the math that don't be mathing. It's like what y'all call evil and demonic. It's like y'all really need to look in the mirror. You really need to look in the mirror and really like analyze yourself before you call something else like evil and demonic, especially when it comes down to them plants. I'm like, please let's use our thinking cats, people. But anyway, with that one, unapologetically Hoodoo is the number one I got. And these are in no particular order. This is just what I've got written down in my notes, but is what I got from Annie's character. So if you are unapologetically Hoodoo, definitely sister Annie, because she was on it. Not only was she unapologetically Hoodoo, but to me, she was just always on goal. Like she knew exactly what to do. As I mentioned earlier, like she already had the pickled garlic ready, because it's like, and which is why I'm also not surprised she was the cook. Because it's like, if you're skilled in them herbs and the plants, and if you really know how to cook, then you also skilled in that. Because like that's how I be telling people. They act like, well, I can't cook, but I'm not pork. I can't do this. I can that. If you claim you really a badass cook, my bad, because I know other churn be watching me. If you claim you really a good cook, then you wouldn't need the pork. Like if you really a good cook, then you know how to put those flavors together. Because if you think about it, like you're not just going to eat unseasoned pork. It's the season that you put on it, and a lot of time them seasons be what? Dried vegetables. Come on now, people. Thinking caps. Let's use them. But anyway, for number one, yes, unapologetically Hoodoo is what I consider Anna's character, and she's just a symbol of Black woman. How we always be coming for the rescue, and I hate that for us, but I love that for us. But we always coming for the rescue, and we always just have what everybody need before the storm even gets you. We just like, yo, we already prepared. We ain't about to react. We ain't waiting to get a notification saying the storm coming. We already got the stuff ready. Because like, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. So the next one I got, because y'all be trying to play my dog Annie, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like how y'all be trying to play dark-skinned women, especially full-figured dark-skinned women. Like, y'all gonna put some respect on us. Y'all is going to put some respect on us with our sun-kissed skin and our big bunkies and big breasts. Y'all gonna put some respect on us. Because I don't like the discourse, and it wasn't everybody. Just a few of y'all really been trying to come for Annie, come for her looks, come for her as if like she's not a nurturer. Like that film, was she not like pouring into her estranged husband? I just feel like though she's a nurturer though with boundaries is what I got for that. Like she loves with boundaries, in which I feel like healthy love going to come with boundaries. If your love has no boundaries, then it's going to be toxic. And there's such thing as toxic positivity. Because some of y'all take it way too far, especially if y'all have been hurt or harmed emotionally. You either shut down completely, or you just too open. You too out ya. You way too out here. But with Annie, I just feel like she's a nurturer with boundaries. Like, and you can tell that she really loves Smoke. Like, at least in me in the film. Like, I got like, you can tell like she loves him, but she don't lose herself. Like, she did not lose herself in him. Like, it's like some women I've seen, you know, like once they become a wife, once they become a mom, is like that's their whole personality and identity. Like, they don't know anything outside of being a wife, outside of being a mom. And they just, you know, like they don't know. There's like a blank slate. It's like nothing outside of that. And with Annie, even though, you know, they baby did, you know, something happened to the baby, they never really got into that in the film. But you can tell though she still knows who she is as a person. While also loving on Smoke. And I think a lot of people confuse that, you know, with women as not being a nurturer if you're not like submissive to your man, which to me is so crazy on why you want somebody to be so submissive to you. But anyway, I digress. But to me, it's like I feel like some of that discourse is around because that's what the patriarchy expects women to be, right? You expect us to always just be to be dainty, to be soft, all this and all that. And it's like, nah, like Andy show you, like I can be a nurturer, but also finna let you, like, you ain't finna be playing with me. You know, like you also gonna like respect me as a human being, as like we equals at the end of the day. You know, don't matter, you know, what our genitalia is, like we equal. Cause some of y'all be acting fool up. Y'all be acting fool up. Just cause y'all got eggplants don't mean nothing. Like it do not mean nothing. Like it does not mean like a woman just need to bow down to you. Like that ain't that don't work. Because regardless, I know the Bible be like, oh well, woman was made out of man's rib. Cool. That's what that man that wrote the Bible says. Because if you go to any hospital or any birth center, guess what? All humans coming out of a woman's vagina are getting sliced open for the life to come earthside. So I don't want to hear none of that. But anyway, back to Annie. I feel like Annie, man, she just, like I said, she's a nurturer with boundaries. She's a nurturer with boundaries, a lover. She's a lover with boundaries. Like I said, she loves Smoke, but she does not lose herself into Smoke. You know, like if anything, I feel like they grounded each other in the film is what I got from it. All right, let's keep this personality train going. So the third one that I got from Annie's character is that she is a vessel of ancestral knowledge, ancestral memory, and it was shown all throughout this movie, especially in just the way that she moved. Like I feel like the way that she moved, the words that she was saying, like even in the scene where Cornbread came to the door was like, okay, y'all go ahead, let me in. She been like, you big and strong, like why you can't just push past us? Like why you need an invite? Like all of a sudden, like what's going on here? Like, is you cool? Like, is you cool? And he was not. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just always, and I respect. Like, just going back. Just going back to the nurturer thing. I really respect though the fact that how Smoke like respected her authority too. But she was like, listen, you know, because he looked at her was like, yeah, like you've been out here, you've been in and out all night. Like, now you need an invite. You know, like it wasn't no back and forth, no discourse. He's just been like, yeah, let me respect my woman. Like she never led me astray, you know? But anyway, I just feel like Annie is definitely like another personality gem of hers is she just investors of ancestral knowledge and memory. Just going back as we saw with the mojo bags, like she knew what to put in it, she knew what to pour on it, and she knew what prayers to say over them. Slight segue, I just really love like how they depicted hoodoo in this film, because most films that talk about like hoodoo or any like I feel like African traditional religion is always in like a spooky sense. Because did y'all know like voodoo dolls is not even like a part of actual like voodoo? Like that's something like that's news to me, you know. Because I was like, it's not like that's something like Hollywood made up. And that's what I'm saying, like, yo, propaganda is so evil. That's another form of witchcraft. Like, they are like brainwashing people with this nonsense. Cause I'm just like, it's nuts. Like, you could have fooled me. Cause to the point, like, y'all, like, growing up, I did not like. I still don't. I ain't gonna lie. Don't put no dolls in my room. Don't put no dolls. Depending on how the stuffed animal look, like, do not put them things in my room. Like, I was so like terrified of them things. At least, like, I did not want them things that close proximity to me, especially while I'm asleep. Just because of that, like the way like films usually like depict those. So I'm just like, but I really love how they did. I really love how they respected Hoodoo. I would feel like as a spiritual system and wasn't all spooky layers. All this is evil. Da, da, da. Like, they really, you can tell they really had some like consultants on the team to coming at it with a level of respect and not a level of, I feel like, disrespect or fear. Because a lot of folks, like I said, like, a lot of black folks though still got that slavery spell on them.
You are under spells, people.
They still got that slavery spell. They don't even want to read to learn, to learn more outside of what has been like presented to you. Like, you really think the people who listed us as less than human beings gonna give us a religion to free us when they made their whole economy off of us being enslaved? Like, that's to say, y'all, listen, thinking caps, critical thinking. We gotta use this. We gotta use this brain of ours, y'all. We gotta use it. We got to use it. But anyway, I just feel like to sum this one up, like I say, Annie's the best with ancestral knowledge, and she is definitely the kind of woman that most TV shows, movies, they just don't show. Because I think even in what was that thing? American Horror Story, which the only one I saw was when I think they had a scene. I don't know if that was the one with Angela Bassett, if that was a hoodoo scene or a voodoo scene. That's the only ones I have watched with my sister, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm not watching this mess like that. Like, it turned left field after them episodes. Like, I could not watch American Horror Story. But that one with Angela Bassett, because I think even that though, like, the way they portrayed, like, some of them was like, oh yeah, this looks spooky. Like, I don't want nothing to do with whatever spiritual system this is. Like, this is like, I need to grab my Bible and pray after watching it. At least certain scenes before y'all getting y'all feelings. But like I said, with this one, I just feel like they came at it with a level of respect, and I can respect that, especially as a Gullah Geechee woman, because Hoodoo is a part of my culture. But anyway, let's keep this train. All right, y'all. So the fourth one I got from Annie is that she is a protector. Which I feel like I already mentioned this, but she's protector on both sides. But I feel like, but she protects from like the spiritual aspect of it. But her level of protection is also, she is the protector who also knows that, listen, you can't save everyone. And just going back to like, I don't know what episode that was, but it was in the Boondocks, and he was like, like, you want to save everyone, but if you try to save everyone, you end up saving no one. And I feel like Annie knew, like, you can't save everyone. And that's one of the most hardest things to do when you are called to be like a protector or like a leader, a guide. Because in a lot of work, like I do, like being that I feel like I'm not feel like I know because I was in foster care. That's why I do my best to give back to children in foster care. Being that I was a kid in like Charleston County schools, going through a lot of discrimination and seeing, like the miseducation. So I go back to the schools, but I also understand, like, you can't save every kid. You can only do what you can. It's a lot of churn out in this world. You can't save them all, but you can do what you can. And even if you just save one, like, you did something.